Road ahead closed. Kidding me. Road closures. There's nothing quite like not being able to get to your landscape photography location. Always have a plan B, Courtney. Always have a plan B. And I guess this is always a great plan B. This tree is absolutely phenomenal, and I was here a couple of days ago, but I couldn't quite get the angle right, so I've come back today with my wide angle lens, because maybe that was what I was missing last time. Now I really want to get this entire tree in shot because I love these twisting and curving branches going off in all sorts of directions. The way that these ones are really hanging so low over this water here. If I push back and go wide, I get the entire tree in, but I feel as though this knot of branches here just sort of blends together into one mass, and I really like these branches. I want them to be I want your eye to be drawn to them. I want them to be quite an important main element in the image. So getting up closer and sort of looking up at them achieves that, but then obviously I can't get this entire tree in shot. So we're going to try to stitch a few images together and do a pano. I don't know if it's going to come out well or not. We're just going to give it a go. But this is a tree that I think I'm going to come back to often because there is definitely a shot here. If I can just get the angle, the perspective right, the focal length right. In the end, the pano didn't stitch together quite as I hoped it would, wind being one of the factors involved in that. Here's an example of one of the images where you can see the effect that I was trying to go for, filling the top half of the image with these branches reaching in all sorts of directions. Luckily, I did take a wider shot as well, so we're not completely empty-handed. Woodland portals. That's something I haven't come across before. Okay. I've been thinking for quite a few months now about focus direction in my photography. Specifically, whether I should continue to branch out or should I be niching down, working on projects containing similar themes. I recently came across a video by Justin Lowry who discussed whether you should or should not niche down in your photography, and he echoed a few things that I had been thinking about which helped me reach a conclusion. I think it's important as a photographer to dip your toes into multiple streams because how do you know if you like something unless you try it? Unfocused direction like this can be enjoyable and make small improvements and growth in many areas of your photography. Focused direction can result in a lot of progress in one area, and neither is wrong, and in fact photographers may find themselves going between the two depending on what their current motivations and inspirations are. These trees have so much character. They're absolutely fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of animal faces or human faces and human bodies in them. The only problem right now is this light situation, and yes, I'm being very picky. This type of lighting is not personally preferred for my woodland photography. There isn't a cloud in the sky and the sun is quite bright. it's causing this patchy light, which is moving around as the sun moves and as all of these branches and the leaves are sort of being pushed around in the wind. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to grab some images today or if we're going to have to come back on another day to capture these incredible trees. These trees are magnificent. I have become increasingly more and more drawn to woodlands and water over the past few months, or maybe even longer, I just haven't realised. Streams, forests, rivers, waterfalls. I enjoy other subjects in landscape photography too, but woodlands and water is where my passion seems to lie at the moment. And when I work with these subjects, I feel as though I'm growing in terms of my seeing and my image creating. Yes, we're packing away. So knowing when to stop and when to walk away from a scene is important and difficult to do sometimes. But I've really just sort of brushed over the surface of this location and these trees today. And I could rush right now and try and grab something, but I don't think I would do this location justice. And I think that's been a theme today in this video. Can I capture these amazing ancient trees and do them justice? It's quite difficult. It's been a challenging day, and I feel as though these trees deserve a bit more time and effort and thought put into them rather than me just sort of grabbing an average composition. We're gonna go home empty-handed from this location, but that's okay because that means we get to come back. I'm going to create a project of woodlands and water. Now, I'm not going to name it that. I'm going to come up with a slightly more interesting name than woodland and water. Now, that doesn't mean I'm never going to take a picture of an animal or a mountain ever again, but I think some focused direction could be quite interesting. Who knows where it's going to lead? And it could create something magical. Well, we're going to end exactly where we started, in the car, and hopefully there are no road closures this time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.